Dignitaries on the dais, all the members of the legal fraternity present on this important occasion. Let me first of all congratulate the organizers of Think India who decide to have a meet here in Bhopal, the heart of the country. And I also congratulate them for floating this idea that the intellectuals and particularly young students and teachers should keep on meeting periodically to think how India has to be sustained, how it should grow, in which direction we should progress. Now the subject that we have given gives so many thoughts. I may not be able to cover the entire field. But I, to a very great extent, agree with the learned speaker, P.P. Tiwari, that law alone is not enough for the society to change. And if you think that law, what is the source of law? There was a time when there was no written law in this society. The source of law was customs and traditions. And that is what I make a distinction between law and sanskar. If there are no sanskars, how many laws you may have, however perfect a constitution you have, you will not be able to carry on harmoniously, and that we are witnessing in this very country. Women were worshipped, respected, regarded. Males' behavior totally changed when women are there in the program. In the family also, they were given a place of regard and respect. And look at the Indian society, how many laws to protect women. When such laws are passed which become stiffer and stiffer, that shows a sickening society. Fall of society. The laws are required when the acceptable modes of conduct are not to be found in the society. Then sometimes to regulate the human conduct, and in the event of violation thereof, to punish. Laws are required. And necessity of law arose when we made a constitutional democracy. Constitutional democracy means a supreme law of the land should be a constitution which should regulate affairs of the government, should regulate affairs and relationship of government with individuals. And that is how the necessity of law arose. In ancient times, we have witnessed in India, there was hardly any written law. Our saints and rishis gave us moral codes of conduct. In Maharashtra, Ramdas Swami's that in EP both. In many southern states also, in northern states also, there was no written law. Hindu law was not codified. It was Vitakshara, Jaya Bhaga, or Noilo. Marriage, customs, inheritance, everything was regulated by customs and traditions. Of course, good customs and traditions should be retained, and bad customs and traditions should be discarded and as a matter of discarded. And for that also law is required. Even in England you find that is a very big democracy, because the head of monarchy is merely for formal sake. There also there is no written constitution. Now they have prepared a Bill of Rights, but there was no written constitution. And there is no written constitution. Without a written constitution on good tradition and precedents and government can function, that England has shown. So law is nothing but a mirror to the society and society's ideals. Nothing more than that. So therefore, if law is to be sustained, if you say that there should be a rule of law, there should be first a national character and proper sanskaras to be inculcated right from childhood. We made a very fine constitution. The constitution expert is sitting here, Professor Menon, he will tell you more on that. You read all the constitutions of the world. took best part of the constitution from all over. And what happens after 65 years? The type of things that are happening in this country. Parliaments are unable to function. There is no meaningful debate. Everything has come on the roads, agitation, and that is public participation is very good. Public participation has to be there. The government do not function properly, there has got to be a social upheaval, there has got to be a social uproar. And that is how the democracy works. But this shows that for working a good constitution, there has to be a people of character. What is the crisis of the country today? Nothing but moral crisis. Very good laws, very good constitution, but there are not people. People in the highest positions are being accused. Accused, of course, anybody can be accused. Whether there is a truth in it or not is a different question. But we have placed some faith and trust on certain institutions. See, constitutional highest seat of the president, we take it that he would be a person of honesty and integrity. Chief Justice of India should be a person of honesty and integrity. Without this implicit faith of the people in the highest position, no constitution can work. Now there is a talk, have some extra constitutional, super constitutional bodies to oversee the entire working of these people. How can that be? Then you say, who will watch the watchman? Have somebody on the Lokapal also. There is no end to it. You are aware that Karnataka, there is a Dharmasthala place. In Dharmasthala, when I went there, the head of that Dharmasthala is called Dharmadhikari. It is a very happy coincidence. And when a message was sent that Justice Dharmadhikari wants to be Dharmadhikari of Dharmasthala. A very happy situation for me. Then I was taken to his place where he was sitting. At that time when I went to him, he was conducting his court. Lot many people from that area were walking there for their cases. And he said to me, Justice, please wait for some time. I will talk to you after you just witness what I am doing. And after that was being conducted in their local language, I could not understand. After this entire work was done, then he came to me and said that even decisions of the Supreme Court are reopened before me. I said, why is that? He said that sometimes people are not satisfied with the verdict of the highest court. And they come to me, then I tell them, you trust me, you first go and pray to God. There is a Shiv temple nearby and it is a very peculiar sort of institution. Jains are managing a Hindu temple and Dharmadhikari is Jain. So it is a very good confluence of Hindu and Jain culture. He said, first go, offer your prayers, ask the God to inspire you to accept my verdict and try to do justice to each other. Then he sat on the seat. There was no law being applied. What is your problem? What is your problem? And think of for some time, I think this should be the proper solution. And if you want to do a legal shape, do the legal shape and everything is solved. They touch the feet of the master and then you go. So, and after when he described all this, I said that I am only by position a judge. You are the real judge. You are real Dharmadhikari. So what is the strength? Strength of the people's faith in the judicial system. Faith is more important than constitutional law. Even constitutional law is not required if you have faith in a particular person. And how to develop and generate that faith that you have to consider. What was our mistake? Is that we made a very fine constitution after studying constitution all over the world. But we totally neglected national character. unfortunate it is that after 25 years of the making of the Constitution, the necessity arose to lay down fundamental duties. Is it necessary for us to tell our sanskar say, if a particular person is thirsty, give him water. If in a village there is a person who has come on visit and is hungry, he has to be given food. Is any law required for that? Is any law required that if there is your neighbor is in distress, to go and help him? These are all unwritten our etiquettes or ways of behavior. For that, duty was required. And Professor Menon, that was the most tragic day of this country when there would be a constitutional body like Lokapal in the Constitution, which will give a message to the whole world, most corrupt country in the world. How can a constitution work when people are all over corrupt right from top to the bottom? Is it that Sajjanta of this country has completely vanished? No. I tell you that tomorrow, and it happened in this country, all rights suspended, even then the people of this country revolted and again re-established. Nobody can control and nobody can stifle human freedoms. And good part of India is that people have known the value of freedom. People have known the value of democracy. Because this country has been under different rules. If you go into the history, very short period of freedom. From Mughal, thereafter English and all that. Very long period. So if this freedom is to be preserved, it's a very precious right. Think India, all these people had to now cooperate amongst ourselves to build a national character in this country, to provide good governance to this country through good candidates. This is a time that, of course, there is so much of upheaval in the society, and there is now thinking going on that there should be a third party. Party is not necessary. If you read the Constitution envisages that a government can be formed without a political party. That is why there is no mention of any political party in the Constitution. Political parties are mentioned only in the election law. A partyless democracy also is contemplated in the Constitution, thereby meaning that candidates can be there at the elections who do not belong to any political party. That experiment now has to be undertaken. Good citizens, people of character should come forward without worrying for the success or defeat at the elections. We have to provide an alternative to the people. And all should combine to form NGOs. Dependence on government should be reduced to the minimum. Let them deal with frontiers and boundaries and legislative lists for their making laws. Rest is not at all required. Why these women laws have been becoming stiff and stiffer? Women lobbies are coming forward to say that this is happening, this is happening. The entire social fabric of the society is being eroded. Now laws are entering into domestic life. At a workplace. And I am surprised in this country a leader has to say every husband will pay 40%, 30% of his money to the wife. And a happy married life is there, entire money belongs to wife or the husband. Sometimes I hand over entire salary to my wife and she gives me, I borrow from her. But now you are making her and giving her a status of a domestic servant. Why? Because Supreme Court in one of the compensation cases, there is some monetary value to the woman. You calculate that, whatever she is giving. And can you calculate love and affection, sacrifices that she does in the house? Is there any monetary value to that also? She keeps the house united because she doesn't think of herself, she thinks of the whole family. Give a monetary value to that also. Everything monetary value. No human values here really. I am not opposed to that law. As a matter of fact, some realities are there. She has to be given economic independence. But what I am saying is that why this necessity arose of economic independence or protection in the workplace, and the laws are so overloaded that in Human Rights Commission, Professor, some people came to me, sir, husbands are being oppressed so much. Please make a recommendation recommending some law for protection of the husbands against all cases, against 498. Whole family, and thanks to our judges, if they were not there, everybody would be inside the jail. So stiff laws have to be toned down by the judges when they apply to the real situation. And I am finding, Professor, so many laws from outside are being imported without understanding the realities and conditions of the Indian society. But don't tell me, don't say that I am traditionalist and very outmoded person in thinking. But look at the family laws, Hindu law, now the Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Marriage Act, remove the word Hindu from there. No longer Hindu. Where is consent divorce provided in our customary law? If you cannot tolerate, and you know that in India remarriage is also difficult. Our society is not like Western society where a person can have 2-3 marriages in his lifetime. Consent divorce, now even period of waiting is being taken away. Succession Act, if you give share to a woman in ancestral property from birth, even in parental house, will a joint family remain? Joint family is an institution from where you learn all human values for the country. How to care and share. Ravi Shankar used to say, care and share. This should be the motto of the country. Care and share. Once you start caring and sharing your life with others, there will be no corruption. Corruption is there only when you think that this person has come to me, I must exploit him. But if you consider him to be your brother, a member of your family, a citizen of this country, then you will not do things what you are doing every day. For legitimate things you demand money. Most of our students from IT sector are working outside. I had a lot of talk with them whenever I go there and they come to us. We say that when are you coming back to India? Do you not have any love for the country? No patriotism? Their answer is, sir, we are ready to come. If we decide to set up a small industry, first we will have to go and pay something to the person who is going to clear our industry. This kind of a culture that we have developed, therefore we are not here. At least we are starved of affection and love, we are starved of Indian people's company here. We are just persons who are working right from morning till evening, we have no family life, that's it that way. But things are so easy. On a telephone call, what is legitimate will come to us. If you go to a shop, to an office, nobody will say that wait for this much of time, or if you pay only this much of commission, your work will be done. These things are not to be found there in foreign countries. Therefore, the life is very easy. And therefore, they say that we do not want to come to India. This is brain drain, and our people go on saying that no, there is no brain drain. Entire IT sector, professor in America is being handled by Indians, and they are very efficient engineers. Very efficient, and better than when there was a discouragement of Asian people. Industries were very much aggrieved in the sense that for lesser payment, lesser money, you are getting brighter students and better qualified engineers. Thus we are losing because we don't give. And in China, women working is to be found everywhere. Certain departments are totally given to women. Why can't you do that in India? In health sector, in education sector. Reservation on STs and OBs are not allowed. certain departments, certain areas fit for women. I don't say don't give them some position in army or in police, but more positions in education sector, in health sector, in shopping, in commerce. Why can't you do that? And reservation, what has done? 10 years was the initial period. 10 years you have not done nothing to improve the conditions and quality of life of SC, STs and OBCs. And for political experiences, you are continuing for 65 years that, and you are now extending it to promotions as well. Is it not going to create conflict in the society? Why people of merit are feeling disgusted, frustrated? How can young children be told that because your ancestors have done so much of injustice to these people, therefore you should suffer injustice to them? It's very difficult to make them realize all this. They get very much perturbed. Instead, for all these years, even Professor today, you have the statistic because you are on several bodies. You have given reservation quota for STs, but STs are not available. And only creamy layer is utilizing that particular quota. Mere quota and reservation is not going to, this is going to create conflict. So sometimes law is not a fulcrum of change, law is a source of conflict, social conflict. And so much of conflict is created by law. A concept of secularism, please don't misunderstand me. I am not criticizing anybody. What was the concept of secularism of India? That is what Mahatma Gandhi preached. Respect for all religions. Not that we will do away with all religions, nothing of the kind. On the bench of the Supreme Court, I asked the member, the question arose whether some religious preaching should be given, spiritual content of a religion should be given to students or not. Human values provided, value-based education, is it permissible? Because the petitioner said at that time that this is nothing but secularization of education. And we had to say that no, from where do you get the moral code of conduct, moral behavior, ethics, human values, that all you. And I borrowed a constitution today, he has brought with him, actually I should have carried it. If you read the preamble, as a matter of fact, according to me, the preamble comprises of all, essence of all religions. Essence of all religions. This is preamble of a secular constitution. Justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. Read Quran, read Gita, read Upanishad, read any religious book. This is all. And from where do you get the ideas? Ideas of forming a constitution, ideas of forming a society which is law obedient. Only from religion, from our scriptures, from nowhere else. This history of civilization has contributed in the growth of law. Society makes the law. Law cannot make the society. Society, before society, some ideas can be placed by law. But they have to be realized and goal achieved only by the members of the society. Now you cannot insist respect a woman because law is there. Otherwise, what is happening in the workplace, people shun women. You don't want women employees. You do not know what will happen. Tomorrow some false complaint would be there and our entire life will be lost, career will be lost. Marriage, one of my clients when I was in the practice, a very eminent doctor. His wife was psychotic, mentally retarded. In the puja room, she hit herself and tried to immolate. Then he deserted her. Marriage case came. I was for the wife. I said, doctor, you are such an educated person, why should you forsake her? Try to adjust with her because I talked to her, she was not that sort of a wayward lady. Very good, very composed, although no issue. His answer was, sir, I am in practice. Tomorrow if she does something, similar incident of attempt to commit suicide. I will be in jail, my practice will be lost, and my entire family will be jail. This is happening. People are afraid of company failure. In Singapore also that happened. One political party was thrown there because it was making all laws in favor of women, pro-women. So people are afraid. Although it is all marketing and copy. So do you, demand respect or you have to command respect? And anything said to women, the police officer of Karnataka had to suffer the furor and anger of so many reasons. Only one word. Freedom of what kind? Freedom to live indecently, freedom to do anything on the TV, freedom to go for blue films. What kind of freedom? Freedom to have any kind of sex in public. The purpose is society and law has to keep pace with each other. Law is only supporting the social behavior. If the law tries to regulate, and as it is being done, overactive laws, then it is very difficult, they will not be obeyed. That happened with regard to the anti-divorce law. Anti-divorce law is one law in the country which is never followed and could not be followed. The reason is custom of marriages you have not changed. Still a Kanyadan. Along with Kanya you have to do something. And actually the concept at that time was that because she doesn't have a share in the parent's property, therefore something at the time of marriage should be given to her as a share, as we have in the Muslim marriage as a mehar. That was the concept. But later on it degenerated into demanding, expecting, tormenting the woman during the married life, and all these things. You make a law, make a very strict law, if a person is caught for dowry, but in most of the cases which come before the court, in addition to, suppose there is a malfunctioning or suppose there is the marriage is about to be broken, then all kinds of allegations are made in which dowry is one. No attempt has been made in the society to change the custom of marriage. In the north or south or wherever, simple marriages, that system has not started yet. On the contrary, so many fashions and designs and other things. Now one marriage, even in Bhopal also, the one you know, if there is a marriage at a VIP place, at least 1,000 to 2,000 people will come for the dinner. And this is all loaded on the women's side. It is bound to happen. Now, even our judges were telling me, I have not named them, it is not necessary to name them. They went for a matrimonial alliance. आप कितने करोड़ की शादी करें? अब लाख में कितने करोड़ की शादी करें? यहाँ से जब बात शुरू हो जाएगी तो how it is possible to help the women by dowry law? Society has to change without law, by sanskar. And law is merely supporting. By punishment alone you cannot change the society. How many people behave well with their wife only because they know that there is a law, if I commit domestic violence I can be put in court. And these are all important. Professor, these are all important laws. United Nations sitting there, all women from all over the world making a modern law, and you adopt it without any change merely because you are a member of the United Nations. You have to tailor and amend it and suit it to the Indian conditions. Multi-religious society. When foreigners came here, it is that God-intoxicated society. Yes. How many people are atheists here? Very few. Handful of people. And even those communists who said we have nothing to do with religion, go to Durga Puja regularly. Still is there. Nobody is atheist here. Very few of them. Even atheists believe in human values, human qualities. Thereby indirectly they believe in God. Constitution has given certain goals to you. How many goals you have achieved in 65 years? Uniform civil code? No, nothing happened. No party, no religious people want it. Not even a climate is being created. As a matter of fact, because of different personal laws, rights of women and children are being hampered. To be very clear. Make uniform, at least some consensus on certain values, human values. Luckily, Domestic Violence Act applies to people of all religions. And if it has been accepted, other laws can also be accepted. That can be a starting point. Link language in Hindi, we have not been able to go away. I am also speaking in Hindi because people from all over are here. After 65 years, we don't have one language. Sanskrit was one language. Shankaracharya came all the way from Kerala and Banaras. If Sanskrit can become a link language of intellectuals in ancient India, why can't we develop our Indian language here? And if foreigners coming from outside but bringing in the curriculum English, make us so proficient in English that I am today speaking English to all of you, why can't we teach Hindi everywhere in every state and make Hindi a link language? Instead of the constitutional bodies, films are doing a lot of work in this. In Tamil, Hindi is hated, but Tamilians are seeing all Amitabh Bachchan pictures. So you have to create a climate. That climate is also not being created. And Hindi protagonists have done great disservice to Hindi by imposing. It must come within this time, it must come within this time. Therefore, Tamil people have now an election agenda that will not allow Hindi. Luckily for Kerala, Professor Menon's home state, Hindi is being learned everywhere. Karnataka, there is no problem. In other parts of the state, Hyderabad was Urdu state, therefore there was no problem. Now only Tamil people, you have to persuade them, and the only solution, as Vinoba has said, ask North Indian people to learn one South Indian language, Tamil, which is very rich in literature and scriptures and religious books. I got so many, and thanks to Vidya Bhavan, so many books were translated. Because Sri Krishna is one of the multilingual judge amongst us, and I asked him from where I can get him. He told me that these are the places from which I can get. But unfortunately, Tamil literature and particularly this religious and spiritual literature is not available in Hindi. Saints of that area are not known to us, and our saints are not known to them. This attempt has also to be made to unite India. So law, and along with that, otherwise this goal we are not able to achieve even now. Reservation I have already said, 10 years, 65 years, and now that section is saying infinity, can never be removed, they have to be. How can a classless and casteless society be formed when there are policy of reservation being continued indefinitely? These are two contradictions. So I think as an inaugural speech I have spoken much, and there has to be a lot of deliberation for the rest of the day. And I expect and I hope that in this 2 days program what will come out which will give some good direction to the country. And this sort of a meet has to continue all over India, different places. And we will be very happy to be associated. If not, there are many legal luminaries who would like to associate themselves with this. And young friends, this is the time that is a challenging situation where youth has to unite to save this country, save democracy of this country, save the lifestyle of this country. And let me tell you, the lifestyle of Indians is unique, not to be found anywhere in any part of the world. And the reason is the basis is our family life. We have to preserve that. We have to nurture sanskar there. Instead of importing laws and ideas from outside. I am not opposed to Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I was very much a chairperson of human rights here and did a lot of work on that subject. But laws suited to the way of living and way of thinking of this country has to be there. And if we go on just changing the society by introducing such draconian laws, nothing is good. And law itself can sometimes be a source of great oppression and tyranny. And that we have witnessed when emergency was planned on this country. Therefore, constitutional democracy requires rule of law, means a law which is fair, just and reasonable. Not a draconian law as many of these laws are there. And it means that man will not govern the country, law will govern the country. That is called the rule of law. For rule of law to rule the people, the law itself should be fair and reasonable and in accordance with the human freedoms. If there is a curb on human freedoms, in your family life there is a involved by law, in small things that what happened, Professor, in America now, child protection law is being abused like anything. Children are every day talking to the police and trying to get their police help against their own parents. This kind of a situation we would avoid. So I am very happy to be associated with the inaugural function of this meet, and I thank all the organizers and wish a very, very fruitful deliberation for these 2 days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite our guest of honor, Shri Ravi Ranjan Singh ji, for his